Because to give a solution to a problem and to give an answer to a question, you've got to first of all know the problem first. So now we are in the age of awakening, the age of self-awareness. Now the next step, the next stage will be the age of revolution. I propose this because I feel it, I can predict it, I can see it, that we are moving into the age of revolution. That the revolution is going to come, because by the time all of this knowledge is piling up with all in Africa, all around the world, and the fire is being generated, you can only but experience and witness revolution, and that revolution will completely burn the mentality and the foundation that built this system that enslaved its own people. We are working towards it. We are working for it. Every single African, you and I, every millions of Nigerians and Africans out there, they are working for it, whether or not they know it.
We are working towards that revolution, and it definitely is going to take place in our own time. In our own time, we can be certain of that. All right, now all this we will be discussing will be the problem. The second part of the interview, of course, is going to be the solution. But before we move there, before we get there, I'm going to ask you the last question, which is relating to empathy as one of the key attributes of leadership. You see, like I was saying before, it appears that most of the leaders we have in Africa, because of course we are using Africa as a case study and Nigeria to be specific in most of the examples that we have given, it appears to me that they don't really represent the people, in that if you were representing the people, you will understand their problems. And if you understand their problem, the way that a people usually is constructed, is functioned, is structured, is that in every people, in any part of the world, they are part of their problem and they are also part of the solution. You cannot manufacture a solution from somewhere and export it to a people and say, this is your solution. It will never work.
It's not possible.
And the only way this you can ever find a lasting solution to a people is to find a solution within them. So that important people in history have always stressed on this. Of course, for you to be able to do this, you need to have a people-oriented leadership. A leadership that is based on the people, on the interest of the people, on the survival of the people. Now, last week I did an interview with a professor at Addis Ababa University. Of course, that interview is going to be coming up in another of our podcasts. Because it has been, he's hold an important position in African Union. Then, of course, we'll talk about African Union, the role of African Union in African future, because I think African Union has become a sort of a toothless bulldog, a kind of institution just for ceremonious purpose. It doesn't have a vision, or maybe you have a vision, but we can't really see what kind of, we don't even know why it's there. Definitely, we are going to talk about the African Union, maybe in another argument. Of course, like I said before, this project dedicated to African leadership, dedicated to leadership, we have a lot of things to talk about. So we're going to be taking it one bit at a time. So going back to my explanation, if the African leaders were responsible towards the African people, if they were the leaders of African people, they would care when a lot of Africans are being massacred on their trip from the Sahara Desert to Europe. They will care when thousands of Africans are dying in the Mediterranean Sea. They will care when a lot of young Africans are being sold into slavery in Libya. They will care when Africans in Europe are being maltreated, being harassed by racist elements within the European system. They didn't commit any crime to be for being who they are as a people, but yet they are still being humiliated in different parts of Europe, whether you're talking of Italy, in Germany, in France, even in the United States. This is happening all around, no? It's happening because the African leaders do not care. They don't care about these people. So they don't care because they are not people-oriented. They are just institutions that represent a kind of international organization. So that is why we are saying that for you to be a leader, you need to have empathy towards the people you are leading. So African people need leaders that have empathy towards them, that cares about their interests, that care about the woman in a Aghughu market who cannot make it to the month. They need to understand that the youth, the person, the ordinary Nigerian somewhere who is suddenly sick and does not have money to be able to pay for the medical bill, that the life of that individual woman, that individual man, that individual boy, or that individual girl that cannot pay for his or her school fees matters if they are leaders for the people. So now, what I'm trying to get at here, of course, the last question before we move to what can be the possible solutions is, what is the role of empathy in leadership? Because in Africa, I think we need leaders that have a strong sense of empathy towards the people. Your response to this part?
Thank you. Empathy is very important. It's not just a soft leadership skill. It's one of the most important leadership skills, at least for those people who have not known that until now. With the recent development and trend of the COVID-19 pandemic, at least it makes people to realize the importance of a leader having empathy, viewing things seeing things from the side of those who are being led, from the side of their staff, from the position of the followers. You need empathy to be able to, you need the ability to empathize, to see from the position of the people you are leading, to be able to know what they actually need, what is actually good from them. Because most of these leaders came from a very good background, a well-to-do background. They were born into silver spoon. They never experienced what hardship is all about. And so because of that, they are unable to feel, to understand the frustration and the feelings of the common people within the society. Because empathy gives you emotional intelligence of being able to put yourself in the position of other people and see why they think the way they do, and why they understand their feelings, and what is needed to actually empower them and inspire them to a better person and to be best of themselves. So a leader definitely needs that quality of being able to see things from the point of view of the people they are leading, in order to know what they actually need, what is got to be done for them, what it feels like, the pain, the frustration, that the energy that they need to cope with all of the situation, or not having a good house, of not having an access to a potable water, of not having access to a simple square meal a day, of not having an access to power, electricity, of not having access to the basic needs. So leaders got to be able to empathize with the people who they are following. But of course, a leader who is greedy, a leader who is self-centered, a leader who is wicked, will never be able to see it from the point of view of other people, because they have everything going well for them. They live in good houses. They can afford to travel by plane in a society where the road is bad, not motorable. They can have access, have the resources to provide 24-hour electricity for themselves in a country that has where the common person has no power, where even the society, the cities, has no electricity, access to electricity. So a leader who is greedy can never be able to have empathy and know and understand what the common person in the society is going through, and be able to work for the interest and the betterment of those people. And the role of empathy in leadership, for example, in leadership in an organization, in the company, is that it grants you, it makes you to earn the loyalty of the followers, of the staff member, of your leadership team members. It will help you help the leaders and the whole organization itself to earn the loyalty of those people. Because the human nature has the instinct to reciprocate the same thing that they are being given. If you are giving good to people, if you are empathizing, if the people feel and sense that they feel welcome with you, they feel respected, they feel cared for, they feel being cared for and being provided for and being looked after and being given the priority, there is that instinct in them to reciprocate that same quality and that same care and that same treatment which they are receiving back to the sender, back to the person who is giving them that treatment. So through empathy, a company, or an establishment, or a government will be able to earn the respect and the loyalty of those people that they are leading, of the staff member and of their team member. And usually when you are empathizing, you are not doing it just to be kind to the people. You are also doing it for your own self. For example, as a CEO of a company, you are doing it for the growth and the development of your organization. Because if your employees or your staff member are loyal to your own vision, they come to the stage where they personalize your vision, the vision of the company, they make it their own. Automatically, they will be committed to it, and then you will see an increased productivity in your establishment, in the society you are leading as a politician or as a government. So there is a benefit in both ways. You are not doing it just to be kind to the people. So at the end of the day, it's going to reflect in the overall performance and the growth of your own company. So that is one loyalty. It's one of the end results of a leader being able to see things and to empathize and treat the care and look after the own people. Realize that one of the ultimate goals of leadership is to raise a new breed of leaders. The ultimate goal, one of the ultimate aim or purpose and goal of leadership is to raise a new breed of leaders. Because by the time you are leading the people, because of the leadership process, the whole leadership process and essence is helping the follower identify their values, their inherent value, what we call potential, which when you develop that potential, it turns out to become a value that which you can serve to the society for the betterment and the improvement of the society. So when you help them, so that leadership that help its own follower to identify their personal value, will be able to make those followers a leader in their respective capacity. Because you become a leader when you are a master of a specific domain, when you are an expert in a specific areas. So when you help the followers to identify their value and help them to develop, and now in this case we are discussing the human capital. So you make them a leader, they will become a leader in that area of their expertise, in that area of their own value. So the ultimate goal of a leadership is to raise a new breed of leaders. And to be able to raise a new breed of leader, you've got to be a leader with empathy. You've got to be a leader who is able to encourage, who is able to identify with the followers and identify with their feelings and share their feelings, share their frustration and see things from their own perspective. Understand? So you've got to be able to do that. When you do that, then they feel welcome. One of the leading reasons why some brilliant and highly skilled, talented experts, employees leaving some organization and leaving companies and leaving employer is because they do not feel welcome. It's because they do not feel respected. is because they are not feel being treated with somewhat degree of dignity and respect. So by the time a leader who show empathy will be able to retain the best talents within their organizations and within their society, and there will not be a brain drain. This is the cause of the brain drain in Africa. Imagine some highly talented individual graduate from university, from education, high institution. They are not being provided the enabling environment that encourages and develop and foster their talent, their skills, their creativity, their innovation. What do you expect from such a people? Someone who is in the right state of mind will find a means, a way to escape, not just to migrate, to escape, to run from that society, you know. And it's only the tough-minded individual that is going to stay within that environment. They said, let's do it, let's face the hustle. But only few at the end of the day will be able to succeed with their best creativity in such an environment. So you don't, the leaders, for example, a political leader who is not empathizing with the people is creating an unconducive environment for the local talent to drive, for the local talent to prosper. They are creating an environment that does not encourage creativity, that does not encourage innovation of the locals, of the citizens. And at the end of the day, you find that the growth, the development of that society will be retarded, because the overall growth and the performance and the well-being of a society is directly relied and depend on the performance of the people. Okay, of the people. So you can see how empathy can help. Can help in organization, in companies, in all different sectors. That is just one of the importance of the role. Also, for example, another importance that the quality, the attribute of empathy we play in a society, in a company, in an establishment, is the cooperation and the united workforce of the team members.
Hey, I hope you're having a good value from this podcast. Now, in case you want to improve yourself, we do have an e-learning community where you can learn anything from learning how to use computer, build a website, or set up a home business for yourself. All these and many more are available by becoming a member of our e-learning community. And it costs you as little as 65 cents per day. Of course, this is something anybody can afford. How do you get started? It's simple. Just go to Google and type aclasses.org, or write me a personal email at obehi@aclasses.org, and we will set you up for your self-improvement journey faster than you can imagine. I repeat, aclasses.org or obehi@aclasses.org. Now, let's return to the podcast.
Because if empathy, if care, if good treatment is flowing from the head, it's going to flow through down, it's going to flow through all the way down. So if the members of the staff member, the members of the team, the team leaders, and the society discover that they are being treated with utmost integrity, utmost dignity and care, they will also have that tendency to show that empathy to themselves. Every staff member will begin to show that empathy, that care, that same attitude to their colleagues within their organization. And once that is going on, then it will eradicate dissension, it will eradicate tension among the staff. And at the end of the day, what we have left is unity, is cooperation, is united team and staff who are working together with excitement, with joy, with elation, in an exciting work environment. What you have, therefore, will be an increased productivity, an increased value being added to the company, to the society. So you are not showing empathy to the people just because they are in a position of needs. No. That is demeaning. That is downgrading them, because everybody is equal. It doesn't matter what value and what resources and means and work that you have. So you are doing it also for your own self.
Thank you
So
so much.
these are just a few of the importance on the role that empathy plays.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thank you so much. That really be really exhaustive. The different benefit a leader can even attain for himself by learning how to show empathy to the people that he or she leads over. Of course, it's true that we pay a lot of attention here to the political leadership, but of course, it's also relevant to you if you are leading in your family, if you are leading in a company, if you are leading maybe in a small association, to be able to show empathy to the people that are under you. Because the moment you fail to do this, then you are going to have it hard. You are going to have it more difficult for you where it was supposed to be ordinarily simpler. Of course, we've showed different examples. A good example also would be during the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, we are still in the COVID-19 pandemic, of course. I mean, the one that happened before, in the lockdown in Nigeria, a lot of food were stored in different places, you would imagine that for a leader who cares about the people, who cares about their welfare, who even want to maintain law and order in the society, we distribute this food to the people who do not have access to food. Because a lot of people in Nigeria are suffering because, okay, now, first of all, to even start with, Nigeria tried to imitate more advanced society who say stay at home. But they didn't just say stay at home and that's all. They said stay at home, but they give them the means to be able to stay at home. Then the Nigerian government also says stay at home. And they even managed to buy food, or somebody donated the food today. I don't know how they managed to get this huge pallet of food with houses, warehouse full of food in different states in the country. But the food were not given to the people. I talked to a lot of people during my interview with different people in Nigeria in the COVID-19 pandemic series that I did, which of course led to this discussion on leadership. Some people told me, even as far back as like 1 month ago, that until 1 month ago, that is beginning for all throughout the process of the first lockdown and the second lockdown that we are in now, she has never received anything. And the people that she knows, because she's a civil rights activist in Nigeria, of course. So, of course, she also knows other persons now. All the people that she knows never received anything from the government in terms of food. But all this food were available there. They just stored it in the house. Nobody was eating them except maybe among themselves, the politicians, they share among themselves, their political member, and things like that. So if you are a leader and you don't care about the welfare of the people, whether they eat or not, whether they survive or not, I don't know what kind of leader you are. Anyway, these are all be the problem, the difficulty the African people, the Nigerian people face in the hands of their leaders. Now, we come to the second part of it, which is the solutions. Since these attributes are very important, whether you're talking of the vision, talking of the empathy, like the last one that we discussed, or talking of influence, all these are very important attributes that a leader should have. And of course, leading to the next election in Nigeria, or maybe in your business or in different area where you want to be in the position of authority, these attributes are going to be very important for you wherever you might be watching from. Now, how do you develop this attribute? Because, okay, we are not born with some of these attributes, no? But we can learn them. That is why it is very important. So the question now is, how do you learn these characteristics, this attribute that make you distinct, that make you different from other people?
Leaders are not born. Leaders are made through personal efforts of diligence. Leaders are not born. Leaders are made through personal efforts of diligence. I think one thing that is very basic to cultivating any quality, any attributes, and any good and positive habits, it's self-discipline. Is self-discipline, self-discipline, self-discipline. All of these leaders, they know what is right and what is not right. They can differentiate what is good from what is bad. So they know exactly what they are doing. But they haven't got enough discipline, enough self-discipline to commit themselves to the proper and the right values, to the proper and adopt those characteristics, those attributes that defines a good leadership, which will ultimately result in their better delivery on the leadership. So having self-discipline, having a self-discipline is very fundamental, is very basic for them to cultivate the leadership qualities, the leadership attributes that is necessary for them to lead an effective leadership within the society that have been trusted, entrusted to them. So having discipline is very fundamental. Within everybody, like I said, is that awareness of what is good and bad. Everybody knows what is good and bad. The leaders knows what is good and bad. They knew that it was wrong for the money that was allocated to buy some relief materials, food, whatever, to the people, for them to stock them up in one place, in warehouses all around the country, and not distribute it to the people. They knew that that was bad. They knew this. But just because they are wide, so corrupt, without no self-control, no self-discipline. If you don't have self-discipline and self-control, you will never be able to cultivate and maintain any of the leadership attributes, or what I call the leadership values. You will never be able to do that. They knew that was bad. So it's not about teaching them the leadership principle or the leadership attribute. They know this. It is in our nature. It is wired into our nature that when you are doing something wrong, you know when you are doing them wrong. But what we don't have is that you don't have a discipline. So they should be disciplined enough to know that these steps they are taking. How can you, for example, the European Union donated some millions of euro to Nigeria during the COVID-19, which when you convert it is around billions of naira. And we have some well-meaning Nigerians who also donated to the same comfort, and also from the allocation from the government, who benefited from those things. And so you want to tell me that I should tell the politicians that what they were doing was wrong? They knew that it was wrong. But because they don't have the self-control, they are so corrupt to the level that they cannot restrain, they don't have the enough discipline to do what is right, to just do it. Just do it. I don't need to teach you, don't need to tell the president of Nigeria that what they were doing is wrong. They knew it was wrong. Just do what is right. Just doing. It is doing. It is in the area of practicing, the area of commitment, of discipline, and practicing. Give yourself to it, whether or not you feel it.